Bro, I stamp on everything I love, bro. What type of gangster pull up on a man, say they gonna do something to a man, and pull out their phone on everything I love, bro? Baby ARP in hand, man. I just asked these folks, what you wanna do? Why y'all keep staring at me? I'm sitting here, right in the drive, parking lot, right there, tell them niggas what they wanna do. Man, them niggas shaking, man. 3, you shaking. Ben, shaking. Y'all niggas ain't do shit, man. Listen, then right after that, cause I hop in the car, I'm like, man, what y'all wanna do? Y'all don't wanna do nothing. Nigga pull off in the whip. Now niggas wanna pull their phone out, man. I had 2 niggas on the front line that would've laid y'all down. Come on, man. If you gonna post something, post that, bro.
NLE Choppa just got caught slipping in Houston, Texas. And this situation came way too close to turning into a real-life tragedy. In broad daylight, Choppa allegedly found himself face-to-face with NBA Ben 10, one of NBA YoungBoy's closest affiliates, in a moment that nearly ended with somebody not making it back home to their family. This wasn't internet talk. This wasn't sneak dissing behind screens. This was pressure applied in real time, with no cameras needed to make it serious. And what makes this hit harder is the image Choppa's been pushing lately. Behind all the spiritual quotes, clean eating posts, and positive energy talk, Choppa was allegedly running his mouth at the wrong moment and toward the wrong camp. That energy followed him straight into a Houston parking lot, where there was nowhere to hide and no room to talk it down. The truth behind what dragged this beef from social media into the streets is way darker than most fans realize. Once the pieces connect, it paints a whole different picture. Now let's be clear, this isn't some random run-in or clout stunt. Social media has been flooded with clips and rumors showing NLE Choppa getting confronted by NBA Ben 10 and OG33. But the stories don't match up. One side says it was nothing, the other says it almost went left fast. That's why we're breaking down facts versus fiction, because both camps are telling completely different versions of what really went down. And everything traces back to December 2024, the moment this tension finally boiled over. Choppa, a Memphis artist who was supposed to be focused on peace and growth, shocked everyone by dropping not 1 but 2 diss tracks aimed directly at NBA YoungBoy. That move alone flipped the switch. Suddenly, Choppa isn't just talking music, he's stepping into territory that has a long, dangerous history. And before anyone says this beef came out of nowhere, let's be real, this tension has been quietly building since 2019. Slowly heating up until it exploded into a real-world confrontation. But here's the wild part that nobody talks about. NLE Choppa wasn't always on the opposite side. Back in 2018 into early 2019, when Choppa was first blowing up off Shotta Flow, he openly called NBA YoungBoy his favorite rapper. That fan-to-enemy switch is what makes this situation even crazier, and we're just getting started. We're talking about real interviews, not rumors. NLE Choppa was on record saying YoungBoy, my favorite rapper, with his whole chest, loud and proud. He wasn't hiding it. He wasn't subtle. He remixed YoungBoy's songs, flipped through the storm into Through the Rain, hopped on similar flows, even copied certain symbols and energy. This wasn't influence. This was straight-up fan behavior, no debate about it. But here's the part most people don't understand about the streets and the industry. Just because you admire someone doesn't mean they respect you back. YoungBoy never really rocked with Choppa like that, and at first it wasn't even personal. YoungBoy comes from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he's known for one thing: he can smell fake energy from a mile away. He peeped early that Choppa was playing a role for the internet, pushing a gangster image that didn't fully line up with real life. See, Choppa wasn't raised deep in the trenches like that. Before rap, he was focused on basketball. He caught a gun charge at school and went to juvie, but when he came home, he jumped straight into rap and leaned heavy into street aesthetics. Meanwhile, YoungBoy really lived that life from a young age. He knows the difference between someone who's really been there and someone just rapping for the cameras. That disconnect planted the seed of tension early. Now fast forward to March 2019, when everything officially went left. Choppa jumps on Instagram Live, vibing, not thinking much of it, when his homies in the background start wilding out. They start calling YoungBoy a fake killer, throwing heavy disrespect, even calling him a B********H on live. Choppa tried to shut it down, telling them to chill, because over 2,000 people were watching, but once words are out, there's no pulling them back. YoungBoy saw that live the same day and immediately jumped on his own IG Live. His response was cold, calm, and deadly serious. He basically said he wasn't claiming bodies, wasn't chasing that image, but made it clear he didn't respect the disrespect. That moment right there told everybody watching this wasn't internet drama anymore. From that day on, it was up, and it stayed up. But this story goes way deeper than an Instagram live. Choppa made a move that YoungBoy could never forgive. He linked up with Fredo Bang and dropped Gangsta Talk in March 2019. In street terms, that wasn't collaboration, that was choosing sides. Fredo Bang is one of YoungBoy's biggest real-life enemies. Same city, same trenches, real blood spilled between NBA and TBG. We're talking about a real street war, not rap beef. It didn't stop there. Choppa threw in a herpes line that people took as a slick shot at YoungBoy, while Fredo dissed YoungBoy's late manager, Big Dump, who was killed in 2018. That sealed it. At that point, YoungBoy knew Choppa wasn't just a former fan, he was officially an op. YoungBoy fired back on records, calling Choppa a wannabe and a clown in 2020. Then in January 2022, things got straight up chilling. YoungBoy dropped bars talking about Choppa's mom crying over his casket, saying he wanted his soul. That wasn't rap talk, that was a warning. And when he said he was surprised your parents ain't talking you out of this beef, that's when everyone knew this was serious. That's the kind of line you say when someone's playing with their life. Now here's the question nobody wanted to ask. Why would NLE Choppa poke this bear again in 2024, after years of trying to stay peaceful? Real talk, his number's been slipping. His recent projects didn't hit like Cottonwood or his early run, and desperation makes people do risky things. And that decision dragged old beef straight back into the streets. Choppa wasn't pulling the same buzz anymore, the same streams, the same spotlight he once had. The momentum was slipping, and instead of letting it fade quietly, he made a risky move. He went straight back to dissing. First, he dropped Slut Me Out 3, sliding direct shots at YoungBoy, then follows it up with another diss. On social media, Choppa starts talking reckless, posting like he's fearless, saying he's ready for whatever comes his way, daring smoke to find him. But here's the part Choppa didn't fully calculate. YoungBoy doesn't move alone. He's surrounded by real street dudes, not rappers pretending on tracks. We're talking about Ben 10 and OG33, names that ring bells in the streets. These aren't guys known for talking it out or playing internet games. They're known as crash dummies, and that label isn't a joke. For anyone who doesn't really understand what a crash dummy is, let's break it down. In street culture, a crash dummy is someone willing to throw everything away: freedom, future, life for their people. They'll do the dirty work, catch charges, and never think twice about consequences. They don't care about jail or headlines. That's why beefing with people like that is dangerous, because they move like they've got nothing to lose. Now fast forward to December 2024. NLE Choppa is in Houston, Texas, supposedly chilling, spending family time, minding his business. But according to social media talk, someone allegedly dropped his location to OG33. There were rumors floating around about who sent it and why, but the important part is his location got out. Shortly after, Ben 10 posts on his story saying, "I just came out the house for nothing," and in the background, you can hear Choppa's voice saying, "Don't forget where y'all at." That's when everyone knew this wasn't just online chatter. Something real had popped off. Then the videos started flooding in. Choppa hops on Instagram to tell his side of the story. He says, "I stamp on everything I love. Bro," questioning what kind of gangster pulls up, talks crazy, and then pulls out a phone instead of handling business. He claims he was standing flat-footed in the middle of the parking lot with a weapon in his hand, asking them straight up what they wanted to do. Choppa said Ben 10 and OG33 were shaking, didn't want smoke, and only recorded instead of stepping. He even swore on his kids, saying, "On my life. On everything. On my kids. All 3 of my kids could drop right now if I didn't ask them what they wanted to do." That's heavy. Putting your children on it is serious energy, and once those words are out, you can't take them back. But here's where the story flips. OG33 wasn't letting that narrative slide. He jumps on Instagram with a completely different version. He says Choppa pulled up wearing a cowboy-style hat, looking nervous, sitting in the parking lot like he thought something was off. OG33 claims Choppa was acting cautious because of all the cameras around and didn't pull anything out until after they drove off. According to OG33, Choppa thought they were undercover cops because of how they were dressed and didn't want real smoke in the moment. He called it a toy situation, saying Choppa only got bold once the danger was gone. Two sides, two stories, and both can't be true. And that contradiction is what turned this Houston situation into a full-blown controversy. Choppa wasn't done talking. He jumped back online and fired off another response, saying the dude with the Western cowboy hat wasn't a threat at all. According to Choppa, that man was actually with him, on his side the whole time. He claimed Ben 10 and OG33 got confused and thought they were walking into something they weren't ready for, saying they were the ones stuck in a pickle. Choppa tried to flip the narrative completely, making it sound like he was in control the entire time. But now we gotta address the elephant in the room. NLE Choppa is not built for this level of beef, and that's not hate, that's reality. History doesn't lie, and when it comes to anyone who seriously clashes with NBA YoungBoy, the outcomes are almost always tragic. This isn't internet mythology, this is documented street history. Let's run it down clearly. G-Money from TBG was killed in 2017. Big Dump, YoungBoy's manager, was killed in 2018, allegedly as part of retaliation in that same Baton Rouge war. King Von got into serious tension with YoungBoy S Camp and ended up dead after confronting Quando Rando in 2020. Multiple members tied to TBG are either locked up or no longer here. This isn't rap beef. This is real-life street conflict where people lose everything. And that's where Choppa doesn't fit, for all the tough talk. Choppa came up as a basketball player from Memphis who found rap success early. He wasn't molded in this kind of environment. Streets are already saying he got lucky in Houston. If Ben 10 and OG33 really wanted to take it there, the situation could have ended way differently, instead of that being the takeaway. Now both sides are arguing about who looked tougher in that moment. But here's the real question that matters. Does any of that even matter? Choppa went online putting everything on his kids, saying he had his weapon and was ready to defend himself. That energy doesn't line up with the spiritual, healthy living image he's been pushing for years. That wasn't growth talking, that was the old Choppa, the one trying to prove something to the internet. And this is where the bigger issue shows itself. This whole situation exposes a deep sickness in hip-hop culture. We judge people by street rules, praise destruction more than growth. If Choppa stayed and something bad happened, some people would have said he stood on business. Others would have said he was reckless for not leaving. Either way, the pressure is always there. Being called scared or soft is treated like the worst insult possible. That's why Choppa felt forced to explain himself online. That's why he had to prove he didn't run, that he was ready, that he wasn't weak. But what's the reward for winning that contest? Internet approval that doesn't protect you, doesn't pay your bills, and won't visit you if things go left. Meanwhile, you're risking your life, your freedom, and your future. This is the cycle that traps so many people. If you walk away, you're labeled soft. If you call for help, you're labeled wrong. If you retaliate, you end up gone or locked away. Choppa was actually moving towards something better: spiritual growth, clean living, breaking patterns. But the streets pulled him right back in, and now he's standing in a beef that could cost him everything. At the end of the day, NLE Choppa's situation isn't just about dissing NBA YoungBoy for streams or attention. This goes deeper than music. This is about power, ego, image, and the dangerous consequences of trying to play gangster when you're not really built for that kind of life. YoungBoy never had to convince anyone he was really like that. His past already speaks loud enough. But Choppa, he's still trying to prove something, and that mindset is exactly what gets people hurt. When you're stuck trying to prove how tough you are, you start making reckless moves. You walk into situations you can't control. You talk when silence would have saved you. Before you know it, you're standing in parking lots with people who don't care about cameras, careers, or consequences. That's when things turn ugly fast. So now the real question is simple but heavy. What happens next? Does this beef escalate until somebody actually gets hurt or worse? Does Choppa wake up and realize he's playing a dangerous game with people who have nothing to lose? Or does he keep pushing, keep talking, keep performing toughness until it's too late to walk it back? History doesn't lie. Beefing with YoungBoy has never ended well. King Von is gone. Multiple members tied to TBG are either dead or locked away. And now Choppa's name is getting mentioned in the same conversations, getting pressed in real life by people known for crashing out without hesitation. Let's be clear though, it's a blessing that the Houston situation didn't go further. It's good that everybody walked away breathing. That moment could have ended completely different, and everyone knows it. But don't get it twisted, this situation is far from over. Ben 10 and OG33 made it clear they know where Choppa is, and they know how to reach him. That's not internet talk, that's pressure. Choppa can keep saying he had his weapon and was ready, but the harsh reality is this. If they truly wanted him gone, he wouldn't be here explaining anything. That's the scariest part of all. The illusion of control disappears real quick when you read dealing with people who don't care about tomorrow. And yet Choppa is still talking tough, still acting like this is just rap beef, but it's not. This is real life, real tension, and real consequences. Bodies don't respawn, and careers don't survive prison sentences. Unless Choppa truly wakes up and understands what lane he's drifting into, he risks becoming another name added to a long list of rappers who didn't survive beef tied to Youngboy. We want to hear from you. What do you think about NLE Choppa's situation? Do you believe he's really ready for this level of smoke? Or is he way in over his head, playing a role that could cost him everything? Drop your thoughts in the comments, check out the videos on screen, and stay tapped in for more hip-hop drama and real street politics. Stay safe out there because these streets don't love nobody, and this rap game is more dangerous than ever.